Winchester News Online. I'm Adriana Jade Webb, and here are the latest headlines. Families angry over plans to close specialist dementia care homes. From Theresa May's withdrawal proposal to what might happen next, we have the latest on Brexit. And the Christmas market is back to bring holiday spirit to Winchester. So the Hamptons Labour-run council are having to make cuts in all areas, with dementia homes possibly suffering, but they won't go without a fight. Emily Wilson reports.
2 council-run care homes for people with dementia may close to save Southampton City Council money, but families are concerned their relatives will be left without a home.
Our worry is if we leave it until February and they do say yes, we're closing, is there going to be anywhere left for my mum to go if everybody else starts taking their families out of the homes? And also, you know, we didn't want her to go to a private home in the first place because we think council-run homes are better. And it's just the thought of where is she going to end up, because I don't drive and I have got to get to visit her. She could end up anywhere, apparently not even in Southampton, we've been told.
The cuts are part of Southampton City Council's proposed budget, which looks to save more than £15 million by 2021.
This year a decision was made that this budget wouldn't be protected more than others, as it has done in the past. I feel it's really sad that we've got a Conservative government that doesn't feel it needs to pass taxes back to local people to pay for things like adult social care. But that's the situation that we find ourselves in.
Glenlee in Bitton and Holcroft House in Thornhill currently provide care for up to 75 vulnerable elderly people who suffer from dementia and Alzheimer's. The care homes employ around 70 members of staff. Trade unions Unite and Unison are working closely with employees to try and prevent the potential closures.
We're really concerned that the numbers don't add up and that the research put in by the council was not in the amount of depth that we've managed to go into, and they have not considered a lot of the factors. It almost feels like a balance sheet has been produced saying if we keep them open we pay this much money, if we close them we save this much money. The problem that you get when you move people is that they regress quite catastrophically. Some will never recover from that regression that they get from being moved into different care homes, and in some cases it basically speeds up people dying.
A final decision will be made in February. I'm Emily Wilson, reporting for Winchester News Online.
Burrell House has been the home for many healthcare professionals over the years, and it will soon become Winchester Hospice, the new home for the end-of-life care team. Sam Delamore reports.
Burrell House is located on the grounds of Royal Hampshire County Hospital and is being renovated and will become Winchester Hospice. The hospice will be the central location for the palliative care team, who will all be providing specialist care for as many as 10 patients.
The really essential purpose of the hospice and having the hospice in Winchester is to enable patients and their families to be cared for locally where possible, which is what we're trying to achieve for everybody. It's what people want. It also enables people to have the quality of life, be able to get to the hospice up the road for their treatment. It could be to have a blood transfusion, it could be to have some social care, or it could be for a short admission, possibly a week or two, to have symptoms managed. And for some people, they may decide that actually towards the end of their life they want to be at home, and the hospice would provide services that then would care for them at home. It could be a hospice at home team, it could be a home care team. And for others, they may decide actually hospice is where they want to be. They may not have local family, and the hospice, the 10 beds in the hospice, would enable those people to have really good, high quality specialist palliative and end-of-life care.
The hospice care sector helps support more than 200,000 people with life-limiting and terminal illnesses. With the help of donations and fundraising opportunities, Burrell House will open their doors in late 2019. Sam Delamore, Winchester News Online.
Now, the EU has given its seal of approval on the Brexit withdrawal agreement, meaning the Prime Minister can now focus on persuading Parliament to support it, which must happen before it can get approved. Here is our political correspondent, Matilda Appleyard.
On the 23rd of June 2016, one question was put to the UK: should we stay in the European Union? With a 4% lead on the vote, we chose to leave. Over the past 20 months, the debate has focused around the divorce process, and over the last week alone, Theresa May released her withdrawal proposal. It covered key points such as a divorce settlement of nearly £40 billion, the protection of EU citizens in the UK and UK citizens abroad, and the unusual circumstances surrounding Gibraltar. Some people believe that Brexit will give back control to British borders, protect jobs, and allow more money to be spent on the NHS. People on both sides are arguing that the deal fails to deliver on what was voted for in 2016 or what they were promised during the campaign. Brexiteers are arguing that instead of taking back control, the UK is giving the European Union too much say on key areas and stopping the UK from striking deals with other countries. Back to you in the studio.
Now in the studio with me, I've got Andrea, who's going to tell us a little bit more about what we can expect. So Andrea, I understand this may not be the easiest thing to talk about or the easiest vote to tell us an outcome for, but can you give us a little idea of what we might expect?
Right, so as mentioned, the 27 EU leaders have now signed off on the agreement, and the next stop now is the Parliament on the 11th of December. As of right now, it looks like a no, as Theresa May's original proposal doesn't have a lot of support from MPs from all sides of the government, honestly. If it is a no, she has 21 days to suggest something else. This might be an entirely new agreement. It could also be a new referendum where the people can vote on whether or not they are happy with the agreement instead of doing an entirely new revote of the original vote. She also, in some scenarios, has a chance of rerunning it through Parliament a second time. It could also be a no-deal scenario. The UK is by law leaving on the 29th of March 2019 at 11 p.m. This can be extended, but only if all 28 leaders in the EU approve of this. If we have no solution by then, we will leave with no deal. And that means that we will leave with no transition period and basically have a lot of our laws changed overnight.
Sounds like a lot could come out of this vote, can't it? Thank you, Andrea. Now, Winchester is the worst performing 100 out of 391 reducing vehicle emissions. Here's Adam Fountain with more.
Winchester is among the worst performing districts in the country for reducing carbon emissions. A report from the local environmental group Winchester Action on Climate Change shows that since 2013, vehicle emissions have risen, making up 43% of Winchester's emissions. The report states that the Winchester district lies in the worst performing 100 out of 391. WINEC Executive Director Tom Brennan stated that urgent action is required to reduce emissions, stating, "This will require all of us across community, business and public sectors to play our part to help limit the damaging impacts of climate change."
So carbon emissions obviously important for climate change, and we need to reduce them. And I believe the council has not done enough. For Winchester district, that about 50 premature deaths happen every year because of emissions.
Adam Fountain, Winchester News.
Officials at the University of Winchester are concerned about the huge increase in the use of paper following the introduction of free printing. Our reporter Ian Sheridan takes a look at the paper jam.
The University of Winchester partnered with the student union to offer all students free printing from the beginning of this academic year. However, they now think this scheme is being taken advantage of. They say printing has increased by 600%.
The number one reason we've seen this happening is because some students have been printing for non-academic purposes, and in some cases thousands of sheets. We as a student union fully agree that students deserve to have free academic printing and not to face the potential financial barriers. But again, we say that printing should be related to academic purposes, and you would pay your tuition fees for your academic purposes.
I think I feel a bit cheated if I had to pay for printing in second year, only because for the money we pay, I feel like it's one of the utilities that uni should provide for the students.
I didn't use the printing as much last year because it wasn't free and it cost quite a bit. So because my readings are quite long as well, the price, I had to keep topping up my cards.
You know, we monitor print use and it's at a really good level now, and suddenly it's grown substantially, and that's not sustainable. So we love the idea of free printing. We think that's really good, but within a reasonable limit for what's required.
We are told that printing will remain monitored, and if there is a reduction, printing will remain free. But if there isn't a reduction, other options will have to be considered to reduce the environmental impact. So print wisely. Ian Sheridan, Winchester News Online.
Children from Stanmore Primary School got stuck into creating a pop-up art exhibition for a special viewing. Lexi Dutton reports.
We've taken over the museum!
It's the National Kids at Museums Takeover Day, and children from Stanmore Primary School have created their own pop-up art show in the Winchester College Treasury.
The children have spent the day creating and curating their very own pop-up art show. So they've come to the museum to learn about the collections, to learn about the museum, and then to pick their favourite object and recreate it.
The Year 6 pupils had a fun-filled day creating their own exhibition for the public to see.
I'm Posey and this is my picture that I drew from the museum, and I used pastels and tissue paper.
So this picture was made by me. It's from the Qing dynasty, from the Kanji period, 1662 to 1722.
They became mini tour guides and shared their discoveries with their parents in a special viewing.
I thought that everything is very colourful and it attracts you, and it's made me really want to know more about everything that's here.
And I think it's really surprising that they can make things like this back then, but we can't make them now.
The children have had loads of fun taking over the museum and becoming artists for the day, showing their parents and other guests all the hard work they've put in for this special event. Lexi Dutton, Winchester News Online.
If you're looking for inspiration for the big day, the Winchester Bridal Exhibition and Fashion Show took place at the Norton Hotel to help brides-to-be create their perfect wedding. An established fencing league has been touring the country with tournaments this year and has just held its final in Winchester. Marlon Ailing Allen reports.
It's the Wessex League Finals, an historical martial arts fencing competition being held here in Winchester for the second time.
So historical European martial arts is essentially sword fighting being taught as it was taught up to 400 years ago. So we take the lessons from the masters of the medieval and Renaissance period, and we fight exactly as much as we can how they used to fence, and it's such great fun. It's a brilliant way to keep fit. It's very open to all ages and levels of fitness. Many people I know who do this, myself included, never did any sport before.
But where could the sport go in the future?
I think it will continue to grow. There's a lot of sort of disparate tournaments sort of about the place at the moment. There's a Wessex League in the south, there's Kings of the North in the north. I think over time you could get to the point where you've got more of a kind of central United Kingdom tournament and things like that. That'd be quite interesting to get to.
I think we're probably going to go in the direction of having sponsorship, things like that, and just like the way other martial arts have gone, where it's more available to more people because we've got the means to spread the word.
Keep an eye on historical fencing because it's only going to get more popular. Marlon Ailing Allen, Winchester News Online.
Now, most of us enjoy a glass of wine now and then, but how do you know what's the right one for the occasion? Well, the Wine Festival has all the information you need. I decided to taste it for myself. Wine, food and more wine. That was the setting for the annual Wine Festival held at the Guildhall. This year featured over 100 different wines to sample and purchase, with masterclasses and experts on hand to help you find your favourite.
It's been pretty enjoyable actually. Yeah, we've had a good chat with lots of different vendors, learnt a bit about wine, and basically
This year the festival has seen an increase in local goods and produce. From cheeses to chocolates and even salami, this year's festival provided a true wine tasting experience, which organisers also believe ultimately helps the local community.
So the Wine Festival Winchester is a very special thing. You almost have to see it to believe it, really. It's a fantastic event. It's all about having fun around wine. Well, it's really important that wine coexists alongside food. You know, for wine to be responsible, you generally want to have it with food. People are more interested in local, and that's a great thing.
Finally, the lights are on, the trees are up, and now Winchester Christmas Market and Ice Rink is well underway. A market that attracts people from all over, named one of Britain's best. Larissa Patience has more.
All sorts of treats bring people to Winchester Christmas Market, like roast chestnuts and mulled wine.
People love it. They look forward to it. One guy did genuinely say, "You guys are the reason I look forward to Christmas."
Yeah, and
we like to think it's actually just the two of us because we are the star team members.
With Winchester looking jolly, there's plenty of inspiration for your own winter wonderland.
I just love the whole atmosphere, and it's in a lovely setting by the cathedral. And I think it's a very good thing that you've got an ice rink there. That's nice to see. Yes.
Winchester's really decked the halls this year, getting everyone in the Christmas spirit. Even I'm giving it a go. Theresa May, Winchester News Online.
That market can take the Grinch out of anyone. That's all for now. Thank you very much for watching.